Share a Fun Fact. Welcome to another exciting episode of Let Me Share a Fun Fact. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Olympic Games, where history, heroism, and extraordinary achievements collide. From the ancient origins of the Games in Greece to the modern marvels of athletic prowess, we're exploring some of the most captivating stories and milestones that have shaped the Olympic movement. Get ready to uncover the secrets behind the greatest athletes, unforgettable moments, and groundbreaking innovations that have made the Olympics a global spectacle. Whether you're a sports enthusiast or just love a good story, there's something here for everyone. So, sit back, relax, and let's embark on this Olympic journey together. Ancient origins, the birthplace of the Olympics. The Olympics, one of the world's most celebrated sporting events, has its roots in ancient Greece. The inaugural games were held in 776 BC in Olympia, a sanctuary site for the Greek gods. These early Olympics were held every 4 years in honor of Zeus, the king of the Greek pantheon. The ancient athletes competed in a variety of sports, including running, wrestling, boxing, and chariot racing. Unlike the modern games, these events were exclusively for men, and athletes competed in the nude to celebrate the human body's form. The Olympics not only showcased physical prowess but also had significant cultural and religious importance. Victorious athletes were celebrated and often immortalized in statues and poetry. The ancient tradition of the Olympics continued for nearly 12 centuries until Emperor Theodosius I abolished them in 393 AD in a bid to impose Christianity as the state religion of Rome. The legacy of these ancient games, however, laid the foundation for the modern Olympic movement that emerged centuries later. Modern revival, the rebirth of the Olympic Games. The resurrection of the Olympic Games in the modern era is a story of vision and perseverance. French educator and historian Baron Pierre de Coubertin spearheaded the movement to revive the Olympics. Inspired by the ideals of ancient Greece and motivated by a desire to foster international understanding through sport, Coubertin founded the International Olympic Committee (IOC) in 1894. 2 years later, in 1896, the first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens, Greece, paying homage to their ancient origins. These games featured 241 athletes from 14 nations, competing in 43 events. Unlike the ancient games, the modern Olympics included a broader range of sports and, crucially, welcomed international participants. The success of the 1896 Athens Games marked the beginning of a global tradition that continues to unite nations and athletes every 4 years. Coubertin's vision has endured, making the Olympics a symbol of peace, friendship, and the enduring human spirit. The Olympic flame, a tradition ignited. One of the most enduring symbols of the Olympic Games is the Olympic flame. This tradition began at the 1936 Berlin Olympics, conceptualized by Karl Diem, the chief organizer of the Games. The idea was inspired by the ancient Greek practice of lighting a sacred fire during the ancient Olympics. The modern torch relay starts months before the opening ceremony, with the flame being lit at the Temple of Hera in Olympia, Greece. This flame is then carried by a relay of runners across various countries, symbolizing peace, unity, and the enduring spirit of competition. The torch relay culminates with the lighting of the Olympic cauldron during the opening ceremony, signaling the official start of the Games. This powerful ritual links the ancient and modern traditions, embodying the continuity and enduring legacy of the Olympic spirit. The flame burns throughout the duration of the Games, reminding us of the timeless ideals of excellence, friendship, and respect. Olympic rings, a symbol of unity. The 5 interlocking rings of the Olympic symbol are one of the most recognized logos in the world. Designed by Pierre de Coubertin in 1913, the rings represent the union of the 5 inhabited continents, Africa, the Americas, Asia, Europe, and Oceania, and the meeting of athletes from around the world at the Olympic Games. Each ring is a different color: blue, yellow, black, green, and red on a white background. These colors were chosen because at least one of them appears on every national flag in the world, symbolizing the universality of the Olympic movement. The rings embody the idea of global unity and the power of sport to bring people together across borders and cultures. They serve as a reminder of the Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect, and the commitment to promoting peace and understanding among nations through athletic competition. Breaking barriers, the first female Olympians. The inclusion of women in the Olympic Games was a significant milestone in the history of sports and gender equality. Women were allowed to compete for the first time in the 1900 Paris Olympics, marking a pivotal moment in the movement for women's rights. The debut saw 22 female athletes out of a total of 997 participants, competing in 5 sports: tennis, sailing, croquet, equestrianism, and golf. Despite facing significant societal barriers and skepticism, these pioneering women set the stage for future generations of female athletes. Over the years, the number of female participants and the range of sports they compete in have grown significantly. Today, gender equality is a core value of the Olympic movement, with efforts continually being made to ensure equal opportunities for women in sports. The achievements of these early female Olympians paved the way for countless women who have since made their mark on Olympic history, inspiring young girls around the world to pursue their athletic dreams. Youngest Olympian, a tale of early triumph. The record for the youngest Olympic medalist is held by Demetrios Lountras, a Greek gymnast who competed in the inaugural modern Olympic Games in Athens in 1896. At just 10 years and 218 days old, Lountras participated in the team parallel bars event, where his team won a bronze medal. This remarkable achievement stands as a testament to the boundless potential of youth and the spirit of the Olympics, which celebrates athletic excellence regardless of age. Lountras' participation and success highlight the inclusivity of the Olympic Games, where young athletes can compete alongside seasoned veterans, united by their passion for sport. His legacy continues to inspire young athletes to pursue their dreams and compete at the highest levels. The story of Demetrios Lountras is a powerful reminder that the Olympic spirit knows no age limits, and that courage, talent, and determination can shine brightly, no matter how young the athlete. Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian. Michael Phelps stands unrivaled in the history of the Olympic Games. With a staggering 28 medals, including 23 golds, he is the most decorated Olympian of all time. Phelps' journey began at the Sydney 2000 Olympics when he was just 15, but it was in Athens 2004 that he truly announced his arrival by winning 6 gold and 2 bronze medals. His peak came during the Beijing 2008 Olympics, where he achieved an unprecedented feat by winning 8 gold medals, breaking Mark Spitz's 1972 record for the most golds in a single Games. Phelps continued his dominance in London 2012 with 4 golds and 2 silvers, and concluded his Olympic career at Rio 2016, adding 5 golds and 1 silver to his tally. Beyond his medal count, Phelps' legacy includes numerous world records and his advocacy for mental health awareness. His extraordinary achievements have not only set new benchmarks in swimming but have also inspired countless athletes around the globe. Chamonix 1924, the first Winter Olympics. The first Winter Olympics were held in Chamonix, France, in 1924, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Olympic history. Officially known as the first Olympic Winter Games, the event featured 16 nations and 258 athletes competing in 6 sports: bobsleigh, curling, ice hockey, Nordic skiing, skating, and military patrol, a precursor to biathlon. The Games took place from January 25 to February 5, 1924, under the shadow of Mont Blanc, providing a picturesque backdrop for the competitions. Norway emerged as the dominant nation, winning 17 medals, including 4 golds. The Chamonix Games were a success, paving the way for the Winter Olympics to become a regular feature in the Olympic cycle. Today, the Winter Games have grown significantly, featuring a wide array of sports and athletes from around the world, but the legacy of Chamonix 1924 remains a cornerstone in the history of winter sports. Host without gold, Norway's Oslo 1952 Olympics. Norway, renowned for its prowess in winter sports, holds a unique and surprising record in Olympic history. When Oslo hosted the 1952 Winter Olympics, it became the only nation to host the Games and not win a single gold medal during its own event. Despite being a winter sports powerhouse, Norway's athletes faced stiff competition on home soil, and while they did secure 16 medals in total, none of them were gold. This unexpected outcome was a source of national disappointment, especially given Norway's strong performances in previous and subsequent Winter Games. Nevertheless, the Oslo 1952 Olympics were notable for their organization and the enthusiastic support from Norwegian fans. The event showcased the beauty of Norway's winter landscapes and helped to further popularize winter sports. Oslo's unique record remains a curious footnote in the annals of Olympic history, highlighting the unpredictable nature of sports competition. Cancellations and boycotts, the Olympics amidst global turmoil. The Olympic Games, a symbol of global unity and peace, have not been immune to the impacts of world events. The Games of 1940, scheduled for Tokyo, and the 1944 Games, set for London, were both cancelled due to the outbreak of World War II. These cancellations were a stark reminder of the devastating effects of global conflict. In the years that followed, the Olympics continued to be influenced by political tensions. The 1980 Moscow Games were significantly affected by the Cold War, with the United States leading a boycott involving over 60 countries in protest against the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. For years later, the Soviet Union and its allies retaliated by boycotting the 1984 Los Angeles Games. These boycotts deprived many athletes of their chance to compete on the world's biggest stage and underscored the complex interplay between sports and politics. Despite these challenges, the Olympic spirit has endured, continually striving to promote peace and unity through athletic competition. Trailblazing women, the first Olympic marathon. The inclusion of the women's marathon in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics was a landmark moment in the history of the Games and women's sports. Prior to 1984, women were not allowed to compete in the marathon, a grueling event that requires exceptional endurance and strength. The 1984 marathon saw 50 women from 28 countries participate, and it was American runner Joan Benoit who made history by winning the inaugural event. Benoit's victory was not only a personal triumph but also a significant milestone for female athletes, demonstrating that women could compete and excel in endurance sports traditionally dominated by men. The inclusion of the women's marathon paved the way for greater gender equality in athletics and inspired a new generation of female long-distance runners. Today, the marathon is one of the most popular and prestigious events in the Olympic program for both men and women, symbolizing the progress made towards gender equality in sports. Barefoot champion, Abebe Bikila's historic marathon. Abebe Bikila's victory in the 1960 Rome Olympics marathon is one of the most remarkable stories in Olympic history. Bikila, a soldier from Ethiopia, won the marathon while running barefoot, setting a new world record with a time of 2 hours 15 minutes and 16 seconds. His victory was groundbreaking, as he became the first African to win an Olympic gold medal. Bikila's achievement not only brought pride to Ethiopia but also symbolized the emergence of African athletes on the global stage. For years later, Bikila defended his title at the Tokyo 1964 Olympics, this time wearing shoes, and again set a world record. His back-to-back victories in the marathon established him as one of the greatest long-distance runners of all time. Bikila's legacy continues to inspire athletes around the world, showcasing the power of determination, resilience, and the human spirit. Basketball Dream Team, Legends of 1992. The Dream Team of the 1992 Barcelona Olympics is often regarded as the greatest basketball team ever assembled. This legendary squad was composed of some of the biggest stars in NBA history, including Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. The team, coached by Chuck Daly, dominated the competition and won the gold medal with an average victory margin of 44 points. Their performance not only showcased the incredible talent of American basketball players but also significantly increased the global popularity of the sport. The Dream Team's influence extended beyond the court. It inspired countless young athletes worldwide and set a new standard for Olympic basketball. The team's blend of skill, athleticism, and charisma left an indelible mark on the history of the Games and on the sport itself, cementing their legacy as icons of basketball excellence. Sochi 2014, the most expensive Olympics. The 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia, holds the record for being the most expensive games in history. The total cost of hosting the Olympics was estimated at around $50 billion, a staggering amount that far exceeded the budgets of previous games. The expenses were driven by extensive infrastructure projects, including the construction of new sports venues, an upgraded airport, and a new railway line connecting Sochi to the nearby ski resorts. Additionally, the games were marred by controversies related to corruption and overspending. Despite the financial challenges, Sochi 2014 was a showcase of impressive winter sports facilities and spectacular performances. The high cost of the games sparked debates about the economic impact of hosting the Olympics and the long-term benefits for the host city. Sochi's record-setting expenditure underscores the enormous financial stakes involved in organizing such a global sporting event. Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive. Usain Bolt of Jamaica is celebrated as the fastest man in the world, thanks to his record-breaking performance in the 100 meters at the Beijing 2008 Olympics. Bolt's astounding time of 9.69 seconds remains the world record and cemented his status as a sprinting legend. Known for his charismatic personality and distinctive lightning bolt pose, Bolt captivated audiences with his extraordinary speed and showmanship. His achievement in Beijing was a precursor to further dominance in the 2009 World Championships, where he broke his own record with a time of 9.58 seconds. Bolt's Olympic career continued to impress, with additional gold medals in London 2012 and Rio 2016. His contributions to the sport of athletics go beyond his record times. Bolt has inspired countless sprinters and captured the imagination of fans around the globe with his unparalleled talent and enthusiasm. First TV broadcast, Berlin 1936. The 1936 Berlin Olympics marked a significant milestone in the history of sports broadcasting as they were the first games to be televised. Although the broadcast was limited to a local audience within Germany due to the technological constraints of the time, this event laid the groundwork for the global television coverage of future Olympics. The broadcast allowed viewers to experience the games in a new and immersive way, offering a glimpse of the competition that had previously only been accessible through live attendance or radio. The Berlin Olympics were notable not only for their technological innovation but also for the political context in which they were held, as they were used by Adolf Hitler's regime for propaganda purposes. Despite the political overtones, the introduction of television coverage marked the beginning of a new era in how the Olympic Games were shared with the world. Extinct sports, a glimpse into Olympic history. Throughout the history of the Olympic Games, several sports have come and gone, reflecting changes in popularity and the evolution of the games themselves. Among the sports that have been discontinued are tug of war, which was part of the Olympics from 1900 to 1920, pigeon shooting, which was featured in the 1900 Paris Games, and obstacle swimming, which appeared in the 1900 Paris Games but was soon dropped. These sports, while once part of the Olympic tradition, were eventually removed due to various factors, including changes in public interest and the desire to keep the games relevant and modern. The inclusion of these now extinct sports offers a fascinating glimpse into the past and highlights how the Olympics have adapted over time. The evolution of the Olympic program continues as new sports are added and others are retired, reflecting the dynamic nature of this global sporting event. Youth Olympic Games, fostering young talent. The Youth Olympic Games were established by the International Olympic Committee, IOC, to provide a platform for young athletes aged 14 to 18. The inaugural Summer Youth Olympic Games took place in 2010 in Singapore, marking a new era in Olympic history. These games are designed to offer a developmental stage for emerging athletes, emphasizing not only competition but also education, culture, and personal growth. The Youth Olympics feature a range of sports, many of which are also included in the Senior Games, but with added elements like cultural exchanges and educational programs. The initiative aims to inspire young people to participate in sports and embrace the Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect. The Youth Olympic Games have since grown, with subsequent editions held in Innsbruck, Nanjing, Lillehammer, Buenos Aires, and Dakar, continuing to support and celebrate the next generation of Olympic talent. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour through some of the most intriguing and remarkable facts about the Olympic Games. From the legendary Dream Team of 1992 to the record-breaking feats of Usain Bolt, these stories remind us why the Olympics are more than just a competition, they are a celebration of human spirit and achievement. If you enjoyed this exploration into Olympic history, be sure to subscribe to Let Me Share a Fun Fact for more incredible stories and fascinating facts from around the world. Your support helps us bring you even more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.